Hey guys, today I am super excited to present this video. We are going to take a virtual tour of one of my favorite Bozeman neighborhoods. This is the old historic Brewery district and the area right around it. Now this area is one of the oldest in town, and because of that you have this awesome mix of residential homes as well as businesses, the aforementioned brewery, and there's also some other industries mixed within there. So the history of the Brewery district is pretty cool. A German immigrant named Julius Lehrkind is the one who established the brewery back in 1895, and he was drawn to the area because of the high quality of the water and the barley. So he continued to operate all the way up until Prohibition in 1919 when he had to close down. And the story goes he died of a broken heart because of that in 1922. So after Prohibition was repealed, it was briefly converted back into a brewery in 1933. And then in about 1948, 1950, it was repurposed for Haynes Incorporated. Now the building itself was going through redevelopment up until about 2007 when the financial crisis hit, and then everything came to a halt. And because of that, the building itself started to crumble and they wound up having to demolish it. And because of the historic designation, they had to leave at least one wall up. So for years, you'd drive down in the corner and you'd see just this one wall standing there. In 2014, the wall was demolished due to concerns of its structural integrity. So now the reconstruction and the redevelopment is underway and the area has blown up like crazy. So let's jump in the computer. I'm going to show you around a little bit. We're even going to take a look at some of the inside of the homes in the area. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you a great place to go get a pizza and a brew. So let's jump into the virtual tour. Okay, so the neighborhood here is actually located on the northeast side of town. And just like how many cities were built, you had your main street and then the residences started sprawling off from there. Now, if you don't know, Bozeman was basically just a small cow town. And then in 1955, the Bridger Bowl ski area opened up to the public, and it slowly started also becoming a new ski bum town. And then in 1973, Big Sky Ski Resort opened up, which is only about 40 miles to the south of Bozeman, and then it really started to blow up with more people coming out for the recreation, skiing, and all the summertime outdoor activities as well. In the 80s, the word really started getting out about Bozeman, and it continued with this slow growth, and in the mid-90s it saw its really big first huge explosion of residents moving to the area. That continued on up until the crash in about 2008, and then residents continued to move to the area, but at a more slower and steady pace. And then, of course, like everywhere else, COVID hit. Lots of people were moving to town, purchasing properties sight unseen, and then here we are today with a very low inventory in the market overall, especially in this neighborhood. Now, what's super cool about this neighborhood too is the zoning here. It's either zoned mixed use, which pretty much allows just about anything, residential, manufacturing, retail. Again, this neighborhood is a great eclectic mix of all of these different things. And because this area is so highly desired, a lot to purchase or a home to purchase, one of these smaller ski bum homes that we were talking about, even though they're only maybe at the most 900 square feet, they'll still sell for way higher than other properties located in other parts of town with a lot more square footage. And as you can see from us driving around, it is actually April here in Bozeman. The snow is melting here that you see on the ground, but 2 days ago it was 70 degrees and it's forecasted to be in the 70s again tomorrow. If you want to know more about weather in Bozeman or some of the other cities in Montana, check out this video up here in the right hand corner. It'll tell you all about the different climates around Montana. So because of that mixed use zoning, or R2, which stands for 2 dwellings per residential property, you get this really cool eclectic mix of some of these homes. Now, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, there wasn't a lot of oversight in what people were doing and building on these properties. So that's why you can have a hodgepodge home like one I'm going to show you here in a minute, one of those regular small little ski bum bungalows, or as the years went on, you can see some of these really uniquely designed properties spread out throughout the area. So mixed in with some of the Brewery district, you also have a long staple construction materials company, Simpkin Hollins, which is located right downtown there. You move on up to the area of Wild Crumb on the corners of North Wallace and the East Cottonwood area. You have a lot of retail. There's some artistry shops like pottery. There's also a music venue that provides a small, intimate atmosphere called Live from the Divide. Lots of little restaurants and bakeries. There's a few hair salons, a lot of commercial office space being utilized throughout some of these older buildings. The neighborhood's super walkable. You see a lot of people out and about because of all the different retail and restaurant shops located throughout. And speaking of that, I promised you at the beginning a place that you needed to check out for a pizza and a brew, and that's this place right here located on the very northeast side corner. And that's a newer brewery that was built in the last few years right at the edge of the residential area, Mountains Walking Brewery. Great beers, great pizza. You should definitely check them out if you're in town. So let's take a look inside a few of these different types of properties. The first one we'll take a look at is one of these kind of ski bungalows. I consider this one to be pretty typical of the ones around the area. As you can see, it's pretty small and quaint. The ceiling heights are usually only 7, maybe 8 feet tall. The layout is typically the same as you see here. The kitchens are usually small. These older homes don't have more of your contemporary appliances unless it's been updated, whereas you can see this one has not. So let's check out another property. This one is a bunch of condominium units located just a few blocks off of Main and also really close to all of the action just a few blocks away near North Wallace, which we'll get to shortly. But you can see these are super contemporary. Some of these units have a separate living quarters on the first floor. These are multi-story. They have rooftop decks. They spared no expense when designing and going through with the different materials, the layouts. These units usually start somewhere in the $1.2 million range. So now, sticking with the contemporary design, check out this amazing single family home that was designed by Van K. Bryan. This place is a 4-bedroom, 5-bath home, over 4,200 square feet. You can see how it blends all the steel and glass and the wood to give it that contemporary industrial nod. The lower level showcases a wine cellar, gym, a practice range and vault. There's also 2 bedrooms. There's radiant concrete floors, the designer kitchen, an open 2-story living room flanked by metal trusses, floating stair treads, and an artful gas fireplace. The The second level has a masterful ensuite guest bedroom, a loft office, and a gorgeous master suite. And the third level is your own private, over 1,000 square foot rooftop deck. This home was listed at $2,795,000. I thought for a treat I'd take you for a quick look inside the Lehrkind mansion. Now, this property includes a 4,625 square foot, 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath Queen Anne Victorian original mansion with 2 kitchens, a double parlor, and a sitting porch. It also comes with an over 3,000 square foot, 6-bed, 6-bath garden house with caretaker suite. It has huge expansive outdoor living space with a grotto, pond, and a barn. There's mature landscaping everywhere around the property, and it's bustling right there in the center of all of that urban growth that we were just talking about. Very cool, very historic, and it is on the National Register. Now, our final property that I'm going to show you is my friend and local artist, Mr. Zach Zakovi's home. Now, this home was built back before there were many city codes and you could kind of do what you wanted. So, as you can see, the design is pretty unique. He has his own workshop out in the back. It's about 1,200 square feet with that huge open garage. Now, Zach works in many different types of materials in his art. Stone, leather, wood, you name it. He's pretty much done it. So his home is built around that lifestyle. You can see that no room in the house is your typical room. This is very unique to Zach himself. And if you want to know more about Zach, there'll be information below in the description. All right, that concludes the virtual tour. I hope you found it pretty enjoyable. I love this part of town. It's so funky and unique, as we saw. If this is your first time to the channel, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe buttons and the notification bell, and you'll be sure to be notified when our weekly video gets uploaded. We got a lot of more content coming up for you for the towns in Montana like Bozeman, Belgrade, Manhattan, Three Forks, Butte, Helena, Montana, Great Falls, Montana. I don't think I forgot anything. We really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any more questions or you're thinking about moving to Montana, all of my information is below. Me and my partner Dylan would be honored to help you make an easy and smooth move here to Montana. So until next time,